Welcome to today's session on Stratum connectors. We're actually going to be focusing on the Excel connector for Stratum, and we're going to talk a little bit about that, how it works, and how you could use it to get data out of Stratum and directly into your Excel spreadsheets. So we'll talk a little bit about the data hub and where this product lies within the data hub, and how we can leverage some of the views that are available within Stratum or create new ones for that matter. We'll obviously talk about the Excel connector. That's what the session is about today. I'll show you a quick demo and then we'll take any questions at any time. Certainly feel free to ask a question using the chat feature. Here's the data hub, the Stratum data hub, and this is basically a 30,000 foot view of it. And as you can see, all the different applications that are available within Stratum. Sales performance is typically the top application that many of our customers run, but certainly there's manufacturing, planning and forecasting, financial performance, supplier performance. Many of our customers actually have delved into these areas as well. Well, today we'll be talking about the getting data out of Stratum. As you can see on the right-hand side, there's different ways of getting data out of Stratum, analyzing the data, whether you're using our web-based interface. You can also use dashboards as well. We have our dashboarding concept available. So if you're not building dashboards, certainly, feel free to do so. That's part of some of the new upgraded features that are available. And then down here below the Access Hub, as we can see, the Excel add-in is located there, right next to the Power BI connector, which is what we talked about on the last session. So if you missed that, it's on our YouTube channel. Make sure you check that out. We actually built a Power BI report directly right there in the class, so using our Stratum connector. But also as part of the hub are different other areas of accessing the data. Also the email distribution concept as well. So if you want to email reports out to users or groups of users or send out alerts, that's something that you can do with the email distribution portion of the Stratum Access Hub. Okay, today we'll be talking about Excel and using the Excel connector to connect to Viewer or Stratum. And obviously there's a small little piece that you need to load in from the Microsoft App Store. But once you have that available and you're licensed for it, you can download that yourself and get started with downloading data directly from Stratum into your Excel spreadsheet. If you don't know whether you're licensed for that or not, just let me know. You can email me and we can talk about that. So again, use Excel to connect to your views within Stratum. Obviously, typically Excel is pretty ubiquitous, so I don't know as being as cost effective as it once was, but certainly it's something that it's not a BI enterprise tool, that's for sure. So, and many users, the bottom line is it's heavily used, and many companies use Excel. And Excel has come a long way. It's got fully customizable visualizations and upgraded powerful features that allow you to analyze the data better, essentially. So obviously Microsoft is always upgrading their products and making them more robust. Another cool thing is that it shares a semantic layer with Stratum and Power BI. So it kind of brings all these things together, and you've got a nice little metadata layer that keeps things kind of consistent for you across these platforms. Here we can see that using the Stratum connector for Excel, the list of views that will be made available. So all your views, obviously, once you make that connection within the Excel connector within Excel, you'll have obviously a menu that you'll be able to search for or select your views that you want to dump down into the spreadsheet. So again, whether you're leveraging the views that you already have within Stratum or developing new ones as needed, this will be the way. Obviously, this is the menu that you can either search for or select the views. Basically use them as data sources for the data that you're dumping down into the Excel spreadsheet. And we'll take a look at that in the demo here in a second. Here we can see what I was able to build. I certainly don't profess to be an Excel guru, but certainly I've built some pivot tables along the way. As you can see, this was some of the things I was able to do within Excel using our connector and using the data that gets dumped down from our demo views. As you can see, Excel, they've done a nice job with, the graphing component. Here in the upper left hand corner is a pivot table. I've got a heat map over here for my brands. Different, a bar chart for showing my this year and last year scenarios by the different product families. Those are brands as well. So, okay, we'll take a look at that in a demo. There's my contact information, so feel free to contact me. That's my email and my phone number. You can contact me for anything regarding Stratum. If you have any questions about your licensing or anything else, don't hesitate. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. This will end up being recorded and uploaded along with all the prior sessions that we've done in the past. All right, well, let's take a look at the connector. So if we go directly into Excel, there's that pivot table I built. There's the heat map. As you can see, I'm already connected to the Excel connector, the Stratum Excel connector, and I can see all the views that I have over here. If I do like a search for a certain keyword or a preface that I use for the views for my downloads, then I can very quickly, as you can see, you can search for anything sales related. You might want to find your sales views, it'll bring back a list of all the views that have that word in it. So that's a very easy thing to find the views that you've created. If you've got hundreds, hopefully not thousands of views, this will make it a lot easier to find the view that you need to dump the data down into the spreadsheet. Here, as you can see, I've already dumped data down in from the PI comparative sales view. So if we were to actually look at that within Stratum, I can quickly look for that up here. And this is the view that we're actually using to connect to. So this view has already been built. As you can see, obviously, I've got different levels available within this view, division, region. The concept here is that you want to be able to make these available as for your download. So you'll need to drill in on those levels so that all this data gets downloaded to your Excel connector. Right? Because if you're going to aggregate it back up again, then you're only going to get, whatever data is at that level. So here I've drilled on all the divisions, all the regions. So basically I drilled on everything down through all the levels that I want to include in my download. So that's important. So, and one other thing is, obviously, this is something that you want to use, reasonably speaking, if you not for downloading million rows of data. That's probably not the most appropriate way to use this this particular scenario. So this would be good for you have certainly invoice level, thousands of rows, of course, if not hundreds of thousands. But once you get past up close to 1 million rows, then you're going to get some some latency. So just want to keep this reasonable. You want to also, all my totals have been turned off, so I don't have any like subtotaling going on. These are the things you want to think about when you create these views that you want to use for your connector. If you're already there, if you maybe have some views in mind that already give you the data that you need for your download, then certainly you can just connect to those and download those as needed. But there's some ground rules, obviously, and some better practices that you would need to adhere to make your world a little bit nicer, if you know what I mean. So this is the view one of several views that I'm using to show these examples of how you can download data from this particular view into Excel. When you make the connection to, you click on Get Stratum Data, you will get challenged for the URL to Stratum. So I've already supplied that, so it's not asking for that again. But all you need to do is just copy and paste your URL for Stratum into that menu, and then you make that connection, and then it'll take you to this particular menu here. I can refresh the data at any given time if I want to just click on the refresh Stratum data, it's actually going out and refreshing the views that I had already saved within this workbook. And now the last refresh date reflects exactly this time frame that we clicked on that button. So yeah, the Stratum menu, as you can see, you're going to have it once you go into the app store to download the the connector here. You'll and you obviously implement it. Then you'll see the Stratum menu up here in the file menu, and you'll be able to click on it and then do these different things. You can even upload data back into Stratum. So there is this concept of uploading data back. Perhaps you might download some demand data or some shipment data and use that as a budget or a forecast. You make some changes to those numbers, and you can very easily upload that data back into Stratum. So those are some of the more advanced features that Stratum provides that help the users kind of take control of their own environment, do what they want with their own data, so that it provides more value for their analytical world. Okay, so you do have that concept of not only dumping data down, but you also uploading it back into Stratum and mapping that back into the Stratum database. So that's available. So once you get the data down, and certainly you can download more. I've got several different views that I've downloaded here to then go ahead and create my pivot table, my heat map, my bar chart down here as well. And that's just all, Excel, basically. Once you get the data down into Excel, what you do with it, it's basically up to your skills with Excel. If you know how to use pivot tables, you can always close this down. Um, and then once you click in on the pivot table, then you can kind of, play with it a little bit. Come over here, see, kind of hover over some things, get some numbers. It does some interactive things with the data that you'll be able to do, obviously, within Excel. So yeah, I mean, it's if you wanted to bring up the pivot table wizard, you can always bring that up, and change, the pivot table as needed. If you want to change it from product brand to, oh, I don't know, you can do a sales rep. I was able to just change that on a dime. And again, that's because those levels are available within my download, right? So we've got sales rep available as well, so that I can pivot on any one of these different levels that I have within my download. You can also do some drill downs. I think you can do some things like that, where yeah, you can summarize by the different reps. You can aggregate them back up again. So the pivot tables are kind of cool. They're fun to work with. Um, and you can really kind of do some drill down kind of scenarios here for the different reps that you have within that download. You can even integrate the different views into one area for the visualizations and graphing and whatnot for that. So again, what you do with that here is all based on your Excel skills, and if you need more data, or if you need to change some things, you can always go back into the view, add additional data fields, and do the download again to get that data back down into Excel. If I wanted to go into set this up so that it does some automatic refreshing for us, there is actually a menu that you can go into. As you can see, if I click in on that menu here, I can go into the Excel connector, and there's the App Store. So there's where you can actually go in and get it and download that into your Excel application. You can also do some other things here as well. You can do the reload here as well. You can do security information. If you wanted to see the version, or if we need any information like that, it'll give you that information as well. Let's see. Oh, and then as far as under the Get Stratum data, menu. So if I click on the Get Stratum button up there, you'll get a little settings area. And here is where you can see the URL that has been given so that it can make the connection to Stratum and download the data from the views. And then down here, I'm also checked on a run a refresh when I open the file. So every time I do, every time I open the file, it automatically goes out and gets the refresh data for me, so that the graphics are always up to date and everything is dynamically refreshed for me. Here on the top, you can connect to uh, the website if you're using Azure. This is something that we built into that as well, so you can use identity. So yeah, I mean, and you can just build that out, do your necessary downloads from whatever views that you want to download from, and yeah, it's pretty simple to get the data down into Excel, save your work. Next time you open it, obviously it refreshes the data and it becomes available within your Excel spreadsheet. Pretty simple.